Hey guys, how's it going? I finally got to watch the new X-Files episode entitled My Struggle. Basically, what happened was I set my DVR for last night, and the post game for the stupid football ran over and kind of taped over my DVR time. So I went online to see it. Now, this video will contain spoilers, so if you have not watched the episode, I highly recommend that you watch the episode first and then come back and watch this video. Basically, it's been 14 years since we've seen Mulder and Scully try to solve the X-Files. They have a great narrative introduction by David Duchovny about trying to basically bring everyone up to speed about where the X-Files are, where Mulder and Scully are. Was not actually in the best places. They've separated since the last movie. Mulder is kind of going through a period of depression. Scully is working as a doctor in a hospital in D.C. And they both get a phone call from Walter Skinner, the assistant director of the FBI, and their old boss. Apparently, a talk show host played by Joe McHale is trying to reach him. Now, this talk show host is kind of I see him kind of as an amalgamation of Alex Jones and Coast to Coast and just these conspiracy theorists that you see on the internet and hear on NPR and stuff like that. I kind of see him as an example of that. He's a very wealthy conspiracy theorist. Anyway, he wants to make contact with Mulder and Scully because of a girl he met who claimed that she was abducted by aliens, and she has these scoop scars all over her belly, which we used to see in the TV show in the later seasons. And basically, Mulder has to figure out how these pieces are starting to fall together. Like I said, Mulder is going through a state of depression, and actually his pursuit for the truth about the alien conspiracy is pretty much shaken at this point. He's not even quite sure if he does believe. He wants to believe, as he says, but as he says, the evidence has been very not forthcoming. So you almost get a sense like he's almost fixing to throw in the towel, that maybe this is it. I can't find the evidence. Maybe it's not actually happening the way it is. So it just seems like he's kind of stuck in this rut when this case comes up. Scully, of course, doesn't believe it, even though she is much more open-minded in this new series than she was in the old series because of what happened to her in the past. This has to do with also the concept of ARVs, which are alien reproduction vehicles. Supposedly these are vehicles built and designed using alien technology. This has a lot to do with also the Roswell incident. I'm not going to try to give too many spoilers because you don't want to give too many spoilers away on the X-Files episode. But it does end on a good note that the X-Files have been reopened. So there's that. Now, my personal opinion about the episode. While I think it was a great episode, it was a bit of a letdown. But I think that might have been because my expectations were pretty high about this. I was a big fan of the X-Files, especially the earlier seasons and the first movie. Didn't really care too much about the later seasons. When Robert Patrick and the other actress came in to replace David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. And the last season, and I didn't really care for the last movie. But the first movie and the early seasons, to me, that's the X-Files. One thing that Chris Carter, who created the X-Files, is really good, and something he doesn't good in this episode, is he takes headlines from today's and kind of mash them into this grand alien conspiracy story arc. And we do see a lot of that. I mean, they do point out stuff like, the remilitarization of our police departments, EM bombs, digital money, and stuff like that suddenly might facilitate this whole thing about the U.S. government using a supposed alien invasion to take over the United States. It's kind of weird. And the one thing about the X-Files is you have to kind of sit back and just be entertained by the conspiracy theories, because I personally don't believe in the conspiracy theories. They don't really make too much logical sense to me half the time. But for a TV show like The X-Files, it's good for entertainment value. It's good to move the story along. So, yeah, for the most part, though, I enjoyed the episode. It was a little let down, but I think that was my own fault. But I can't wait for next week's. I think this is going to be a pretty cool 6-part series that we're going to watch. And maybe this might even lead to another full-time series. David Duchovny and both Gillian Anderson were awesome in it. I was wondering, though, does Gillian Anderson, if she was going to have any trouble reclaiming her American accent? Because she's been living in the UK for more than a decade now, and she's been doing a lot of acting over there, and she kind of developed a British accent. So I didn't know, was she able to talk with an American accent again? But she pulled it off brilliantly, of course. All right, well, that's about it for right now, and I will talk to you guys later on. All right, bye.